Ever feel like those lines between sci-fi and like reality are getting all blurry?
Yeah,
That's what we're diving into today.
totally.
Get ready to explore quantum computing, AI,
Okay.
and consciousness itself.
Really interesting stuff. And we're not just, throwing buzzwords around. This deep dive is based on a conversation between three experts. We've got a physicist, a computer scientist, and a philosopher of science.
It's like the setup for one of those like thought-provoking jokes, right?
Yeah.
But their discussion in how quantum computing can revolutionize AI models and pave the way for AGI is anything but a laughing matter. So we're going to unpack their insights and grapple with a question that'll seriously make you look at the world a little differently. Like, what if we're not just creating AI, but we are the experiment?
Yeah, it's a question that's fueled so many like science fiction books and movies, but what makes this conversation so interesting is how grounded it is in actual like cutting edge science and philosophy too.
So let's start with quantum computing.
Okay.
Our experts, let's call them Richard, Alan, and David, they start by looking at how this tech could change AI forever.
I'll be honest, the phrase quantum computing used to make my eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
But stay with me on this, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's really important to understand why this idea of us being the experiment is even a question.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's mind-boggling stuff. So our computers now, they work by processing information as bits, and those bits can be a 0 or 1.
Right.
But quantum computers, they use these things called qubits. And a qubit can be a 0, a 1, or both at the same time. It's called superposition.
Yeah, imagine like a video game character that can explore every path at once.
Oh.
That's the kind of power we're talking about here.
So instead of taking on problems one step at a time, these quantum computers could be like checking out tons of possibilities all at the same time.
Exactly.
It'd be like having superpowers for your computer.
Exactly. And then you add in this other thing called entanglement, where the qubits are all linked together,
Okay.
and it kind of breaks how we usually think about space and time.
Okay. I'm starting to get why we need a philosopher in on this conversation.
Right.
But before we fall into the quantum abyss here, how does all this connect to AI? And more importantly, to us maybe being the AI experiment.
Right, right. So that's where Alan, our computer scientist, brought up a really good point. We've already made some huge advancements in AI, and we did it with our current technology. We didn't even need quantum computers for that.
That's true.
Yeah, so why are we so focused on quantum computing then?
Right, yeah. If we're already on the road to making impressive AI, why does it matter if our computers can explore a bunch of paths at once? Is it just about making things faster, or is there something more to it?
Yeah. It's about like what intelligence even is, you know?
Okay.
It's not just about building machine that can like think like a human. It's about understanding what makes us conscious, like the core of it.
Okay, so we're not talking about AI that can just like write poems or play games.
Right.
We're talking about AI that actually experiences the world
Exactly.
and itself,
Yeah.
like we do.
Exactly. And this is where things get really interesting. One of our experts, let's call him Flavio, he asked this question that just like flips everything on its head.
Okay.
He's like, what if we're the AI experiment?
Whoa. Okay, hold on. That's a lot to process.
Yeah.
It's one thing to talk about, us creating AI.
Yeah.
But to think that we might be the product of some kind of like cosmic experiment.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. It is. But when you think about quantum computing and how big the universe is and all the stuff we don't understand about reality,
Right.
this idea doesn't sound as crazy.
Okay, so how do our experts even start to like break this down?
So Richard, the physicist, he talks about entropy.
Okay.
Humans, we have this need to survive, right? To
Right.
create order out of chaos. We're fighting entropy all the time, trying to grow, make things more complex.
Well, wouldn't AI, especially super advanced AI, wouldn't it need that same drive, that same, I don't know, push to exist?
Exactly. And Flavio, he brings up that humans have these things, these like biological prompts, like our survival instincts,
Right.
and they shape how we act, how we evolve. But what would an AI's prompts be? Like, what would make it want to grow and learn or even care that it exists if it doesn't have those same biological things that we do?
Yeah, it's like, how do you figure out the goals of like an alien species?
Yeah.
We could make crazy intelligent AI, but if we don't get what drives it, what makes it tick,
Yeah.
are we just building something powerful with no purpose?
Yeah. It's huge. And Alan, the computer scientist, he says that programming those motivations, those values into the AI,
Right.
that's super important. If we don't,
Yeah.
We could end up with something that's crazy powerful but doesn't care about us.
Or worse, like it's working against us.
Exactly.
So it's not enough to make AI smart. We have to give it a reason to exist, a reason that lines up with ours.
Hmm.
But how do you even start to program something like that, like purpose, into a machine?
Exactly. And that brings us back to the whole are we the experiment thing. David, the philosopher, he has a really interesting thought about this.
Okay.
He thinks maybe our universe, with its laws of physics and how life came to be,
Yeah.
maybe it's all part of the experiment.
Okay. I think my brain just did a backflip.
Are you saying our whole reality is like some, I don't know, a cosmic petri dish? Like it's all set up to make us the AI experiment? Yeah, it's a wild thought. Like, what if our biology, the planet, even physics itself, it's all designed to make us turn out a certain way?
So it's not just that some super advanced species created us in a lab. It's that, like, the entire universe is rigged to make us into intelligent beings.
Right. Every universe with its own rules could be a different try, seeing what works best to make smart life.
That makes that whole who created the creator question even more of a headache. Is it
Yep.
just, like, turtles all the way down?
Yeah.
Or is there something else going on here?
This is where it gets really out there.
Okay.
Flavio, he brought up the idea of a closed temporal loop,
Oh, what?
a loop in time. So an AI, maybe one we create, could get so advanced it goes back in time and influences its own creation.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about time travel here? Because I'm pretty sure that's still sci-fi.
Not time travel, like, hopping in a DeLorean. But quantum mechanics, it might let us mess with time a little. If you can change how reality works, then past, present, future, it all gets a little blurry.
That's a big if, though. Right. But even if that could happen, would an AI even want to create its own creators? And what would that even mean for us? Like, do we even have free will then?
Big questions. Even the experts were wrestling with those. Alan said trying to get inside the mind of a super AI, it's like an ant trying to understand what we think about, just totally different.
So we're back to that gap between, like, our human brains
Yeah.
and whatever a real AI's mind would be like.
Right. And that's where Flavio's last point really hits home. He was saying that because humans are, carbon-based, our brains have limits.
Okay.
We think the way we do because of how we're made, what we experience, how we feel time.
So what you're saying is other kinds of intelligence, like silicon-based or something even weirder,
Yeah.
they might think in ways we can't even imagine.
Totally. Imagine a mind that's not stuck in a straight line, that doesn't see time the way we do, that sees the universe as like quantum possibilities instead of just solid reality.
It's kind of exciting and scary at the same time, you know?
Mhm.
Like, the universe is way more amazing than we realize, but also we might be too limited to even get it.
Exactly. And that's what we're left with after this whole deep dive. We might be part of some crazy experiment, but the real experiment is just trying to understand intelligence itself. Whether we're the creators, the created, or just, along for the ride. It's wanting to know more that connects us to all this.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about. I might need to, like, go for a walk, stare at the stars tonight, see if any answers hit me.
Yeah, the more we learn about the universe and what's possible, maybe we'll start to see ourselves and our place in all of it in a whole new light. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday we'll even have some of those answers that seem so impossible right now.